Tonight, the disturbing new video from that attack in Colorado. The suspect accused of lighting people on fire because they supported Israel. Inside the chaos, the new video showing what appears to be the suspect's first violent moves. A throw, then smoke and chaos. What we're learning about the Egyptian national in jail on a federal hate crime charge. His planning that began more than a year ago, and the 16 unused Molotov cocktails filled with gasoline. Among the 12 victims, a Holocaust survivor, and why, according to court documents, he says he would do it again. The tense moments when an ICE raid sparked a dramatic backlash. This as one of the president's top advisors blasts immigration officials, demanding they round up at least 3,000 people a day. Ukraine's bold attack on Russia's long-range bombers, the covert drone operation that turned shipping trucks into Trojan horses. Etna explosion, tourists fleeing for their lives, the volcanic eruption caught on camera.
He had his whole life ahead of him, and it was just so preventable and so unnecessary.
And our new series, The Cost of Denial, the painful story of a young man who died after he faced a dramatically higher price for his asthma inhaler, why his parents are now suing, and what they say their son wasn't told. The wildfires from Canada triggering U.S. air quality alerts, and the new severe weather threat, Al Roker standing by. And head over heels, this high school hurdler fell with just a few feet to go, how she somersaulted her way to first place. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Llamas.
And good evening. Tonight, as we come on the air, we are getting striking new details about that firebomb attack on a Jewish community group in Colorado. And a warning tonight, the details and images you're about to see are disturbing. This new video just coming into our newsroom showing chaos and what appears to be the suspect's first violent move, tossing a Molotov cocktail, flames and horror erupting in the aftermath. And later, the suspect, you see him there on the ground, shirt off, handcuffed at the scene as people scramble to offer first aid to those 12 victims. The suspect, you see him here, an Egyptian national charged with a federal hate crime and more than 40 state crimes, including attempted murder. The victims range in age from 52 to 88, and among them, a Holocaust survivor. We begin tonight with Morgan Chesky there in Boulder.
Tonight, this new video appears to show the moment a man unleashed a fiery attack on a peaceful pro-Israel rally. The man hurling Molotov cocktails and using a makeshift flamethrower to set multiple people on fire, now facing hate crime and attempted murder charges.
To see the fire under their legs and trying to pull friends out of the fire. This is what's stuck in my head.
Officials say at least 12 people were injured in the targeted act of violence on Sunday in Boulder.
He's right there. He's throwing Molotov cocktails right there.
Witnesses say they heard the man shout, "Free Palestine." Tonight, officials are releasing chilling new details on how they say 45-year-old Egyptian national Mohammed Solomon plotted the attack.
Mr. Solomon stated that he had been planning this attack for a year. And he acted because he hated what he called the Zionist group.
According to an affidavit, Solomon told investigators he posed as a gardener to get as close as possible to the group.
He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
Officials say he threw 2 Molotov cocktails, but had stashed 16 more.
He said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
They said he wore a backpack sprayer, which he filled with gasoline, spraying gas on himself, he said, because he had planned on dying. The Department of Homeland Security says he overstayed a tourist visa and had applied for asylum. President Trump posting, "This is yet another example of why we must keep our borders secure." The 12 victims range in age from 52 to 88 years old. One, a Holocaust survivor, now fighting to recover from severe burns.
She knows what it was like to be a child as a refugee and goes around telling stories not just to fight anti-Semitism, but to stop the hatred of other people who are also looking for a better future in this community.
Morgan joins us live now. Morgan, this looks like terror, it sounds like terror, and felt like terror to those victims. Could more charges still be coming?
Yeah, Tom, they could, because authorities say in addition to these state and federal charges that have already been filed, they want to dig deeper into the evidence that they've recovered, specifically a journal and a phone that Solomon left at his home for his family, saying that when he left to pull off this attack here in Boulder, he didn't plan on surviving. Tom?
Morgan Chesky leading us off tonight. We now turn to those new confrontations over the Trump administration's deportation efforts and the raid at a restaurant sparking backlash. We'll show you that video in a moment. Plus our new reporting tonight, the top Trump aide who wants ICE agents to start arresting 3,000 undocumented immigrants a day. Liz Kreutz has the story.
Tonight, viral video showing the chaos.
You guys need to stand back.
Protesters confronting ICE agents after a surprise raid on a popular Italian restaurant in San Diego. Agents setting off what appeared to be flashbang grenades to disperse crowds around their vehicle. This witness asked not to be identified, fearing retribution.
This isn't freedom. This is fascism.
DHS saying the devices allowed agents to leave as safely as possible and that officers were executing search warrants for violations of hiring and harboring illegal aliens, arresting 4 subjects illegally in the U.S. It comes as NBC News has learned top Trump aide Stephen Miller held a meeting screaming at ICE officials to arrest more undocumented immigrants, according to 2 sources who spoke with attendees. Miller setting a new quota of 3,000 arrests per day to include more than just migrants with criminal records. President Trump says he's keeping his campaign pledge to reverse Biden's border policies.
They were pouring into our country by the millions, but we're moving them out.
In Massachusetts, ICE officials announcing the arrest of nearly 1,500 undocumented immigrants last month, including some convicted of murder and child rape.
These are not immigrants. They are criminals.
But there were protests after an 18-year-old high school junior was arrested on his way to volleyball practice. DHS says they never intended to apprehend him, but discovered he was in the U.S. illegally while looking for his father.
And here in San Diego, the community is rallying behind this restaurant, with the owner calling the raid nothing short of traumatic. Tom?
Okay, Liz Kreutz for us. Liz, thank you. Now to that stunning Ukrainian operation, secretly sending drones inside Russia on trucks, then triggering them by remote control to destroy Russian bombers. Keir Simmons has that video.
Tonight, Russian bombers worth billions of dollars in flames after an audacious covert operation by Ukraine. 41 Russian long-range aircraft, many nuclear-capable, struck by drones, the Ukrainian security service says. Here you can see a drone emerging from a truck amid smoke and explosions. In the operation, codenamed Spiderweb by Ukrainian special forces, 117 drones were smuggled inside Russia, seen here in their crates, and hidden on trucks outside military bases, Ukrainian officials say. Then, using remote controls, Ukraine removed the container roofs so the drone strikes could begin. The Ukrainian security service says the operation took 18 months to plan. These satellite photos show a Russian airfield before and after the surprise attack. Ukraine's President Zelensky calling the operation brilliant today.
Russia must feel what its losses mean.
While Russia is branding it terrorism tonight. Russian officials say this dramatic video appears to show Russians trying to prevent drones from leaving one truck using rocks. They may be awarded medals. And Tom, direct talks between Russia and Ukraine have ended without a ceasefire tonight. Moscow's demands remain uncompromising. Tom?
Okay, Keir, thank you. Back here at home to another dramatic day in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial. The cross-examination of his former personal assistant, with the defense sharing loving texts between the two. Chloe Malas was inside the court today and spoke to Diddy's former roommate on camera.
Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs' former personal assistant telling the jury she never shared with anyone that Combs sexually assaulted her until June 2024. Testifying under the pseudonym Mia to protect her identity, she said it took her 2 months after her first meetings with prosecutors to share the allegations. When asked why during cross-examination by Combs' defense attorney Brian Steele, Mia said, "Because I was terrified and brainwashed." Steele today also presenting to the jury several complimentary messages between Mia and the music mogul, including some from years after she was laid off. In one from July 2022, Mia texted Combs about his Netflix documentary, writing in part, "Hey, saw our doc on Netflix Top 10. Congrats. Miss you." Combs writing, "Love, love, love." To which Mia responds, "And I love, love, love you." Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Today outside court, I spoke with Rich Parker, a college friend of Combs.
The character of the person that I know is someone that was jovial, loved music.
More support for Combs coming from an unlikely source. One of his longtime rivals, record label founder Suge Knight, who is currently serving a 28-year prison sentence for manslaughter. Knight telling CNN,
"If he do tell his truth, he really will walk."
Tom, I also want to point out that inside the courtroom today, one of the jurors during Mia's testimony about Combs' alleged abuse appeared to smile, roll her eyes, and even shake her head at times. Tom?
Okay, Chloe Malas with some new reporting for us. Chloe, we thank you. Now to the intense wildfires. Take a look here, making air unhealthy in the U.S. and spreading south. Let's get right to Al Roker. And Al, you're tracking that and the threat of severe storms?
Absolutely, Tom. And as we take a look, you can see at least 20 storms, fires, making life miserable air quality-wise from Minneapolis, Dayton, Ohio, Greenville, South Carolina. Now, what we're also looking at, severe weather for tonight from Duluth, Minnesota, all the way down to Lubbock, Texas. Tornadoes, damaging wind, and hail. And we move on into tomorrow from northern Illinois all the way down into central Texas. Isolated tornadoes possible. Heavy rain, we're talking upwards of 5 inches. And hurricane season began yesterday, Tom. We've got a 10% chance of development off the southeast coast by the weekend.
All right, Al Roker for us. We'll stay tracking all those storms. We thank you for that. Tonight, we are introducing a new series here on Nightly News. We call it The Cost of Denial. And it's a spotlight on the issues millions of Americans face across health care and home ownership when it comes to insurance coverage. Tonight, the parents who say their son died because even with insurance, he couldn't afford the medicine he needed. Ann Thompson has our story.
Cole Schmitnick only lives in his parents' Bill and Shannon's memories.
This was Thanksgiving.
Dead at 22 because of his asthma, something they say never should have happened.
Cole went for a routine refill on his Advair, and when he got to that pharmacy counter, he learned that it was going to cost him over $500, and that was a shock to him.
Cole had insurance through his Wisconsin employer. What he didn't know, his parents say, is that Optum Rx, the pharmacy benefit manager for his plan, changed its list of covered drugs. The preventative Advair discus inhaler he had used for years cost Cole no more than $66.86. Suddenly, its price tag over $539. Unable to afford it, Cole's parents say he would pay with his life.
Did he tell you that he couldn't get his Advair replenished?
No. When we went to the ICU, we were baffled. We knew he had had an asthma attack, but we didn't understand. And his roommate said to us, he didn't have his Advair.
5 days after his pharmacy visit last year, Cole had a severe asthma attack that led to his death.
How old would Cole be today?
24.
24. This is his birthday.
Today.
Yes.
As we speak. What do you think of on this day?
For me, it's all the things that we should be doing, that he should be doing, right? He was just so young, and he had his whole life ahead of him, and it was just so preventable and so unnecessary.
Pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, are the middlemen that negotiate prices and coverage between the insurance companies, drug makers, and pharmacies, meant to bring down costs for patients. Cole's Optum Rx PBM stopped covering Advair discus at the start of 2024, offering what it says were several less expensive but therapeutically equivalent asthma medications. In a lawsuit filed against Optum Rx and Walgreens, where Cole went for the refill, Cole's parents said their son did not get the required 30 days notice of the change. His doctor wasn't contacted, and that the pharmacy never provided Cole with any more affordable workarounds. Cole's parents say he left with only an inhaler for emergencies.
It was empty at his house next to his bed.
In a motion to dismiss the Schmitnick's lawsuit, Optum Rx expressed its deepest sympathies for Cole's death, but says federal law prohibits the case from being brought in state court. Optum also says 3 alternatives, each with a $5 copay, were available, and its system instructed Walgreens to contact Cole's doctor about those options. Walgreens, too, offered its deepest condolences and cited privacy reasons for why it can't discuss specifics in the case.
If decisions weren't made outside of his control, Cole could be here.
When Bill and Shannon get overwhelmed, they look at their wrists, now with the same tattoo Cole had on his.
It's just everyone's little reminder, you know, from Cole to just keep living and that we can still be happy. I keep trying to remind myself that, like, happiness and joy and grief can coexist.
And Ann Thompson joins us now in studio. You feel so much for those parents there. We have one of the inhalers right here. If people find themselves in a similar situation like Cole, what should they do?
First thing, call your doctor and ask your doctor to appeal the denial of the coverage. If that doesn't work, then you want to talk to your doctor and pharmacist about what alternatives are covered. Your pharmacist may be able to give you that option right then and there, Tom.
All right, Ann Thompson for us, Ann, we thank you for that. And to our viewers tonight, we do want to hear from you if you are experiencing a challenge when it comes to insurance coverage. Write to us at costofdenial@NBCUNI.com. Okay, in 60 seconds, coming up on the broadcast, the spectacular volcanic eruption sending hikers scrambling inside their rush to survive Mount Etna. That's next. We are back now with the chaos and massive eruption in Italy. Tourists on Mount Etna fleeing for safety as smoke and ash shot up thousands of feet. Molly Hunter has this story.
At the top of Europe's most active volcano today, the terrifying rumbling sound of explosions sent this tour group scrambling. This is called touching the impossible, this Mount Etna tour guide says, racing his group to safety. We're 2 steps away. Look at this. The mushroom cloud behind them ballooning above Sicily's highest peak. The column of smoke shooting more than 20,000 feet in the air, sending smoke, ash, and rock for miles. Keith and Kristen Nesswinder from outside Philadelphia took a Mount Etna tour yesterday. And today witnessed the massive eruption 30 miles away from Taormina. And as we were talking tonight, it began erupting again.
Whoa, I can see it. It's going up behind you.
It's going right now.
I mean, this morning was the most astounding thing I've ever seen in my life.
And the most powerful eruption this Italian island has seen in more than a decade. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
And up next, the investigation into the shocking death of an actor from King of the Hill. That's next. We are back now with Jonathan Joss, a voice actor best known for his work in the animated series King of the Hill. He was shot and killed in San Antonio on Sunday. A suspect was taken into custody and charged with murder. Josh's husband tonight released a statement crediting the actor with saving his life by pushing him out of the way when the shooting happened. And a spectacular finish for one track star in Oregon. Take a look at this. High school junior Brooklyn Anderson double somersaulting to clinch the gold medal in the 100-meter hurdle race of the state track and field championships. This video from the National Federation of High School Sports shows the former gymnast getting caught on the final hurdle, but you saw it there. She rolled with the punches to end up taking first place. Good for her. All right, when we come back tonight, when a man fell into a canyon, an off-duty nurse rushed into action to save him. That video next. Finally, when a man fell down into a canyon, a nurse said she was only doing what any of us would do when she snapped into action to save his life. Here's Rahima Ellis.
It was a frightful end to a day of hiking after a 64-year-old grandfather fell 20 feet down a Utah waterfall.
I look over and I didn't even know what I was looking at first. It took me a second to register that it was a body.
But luckily for this hiker, Ashley Anderson, a school nurse, was also hiking with her 2 kids and her dogs and did what she was trained to do.
I kind of think that I did what anyone would do. Honestly, I don't feel like I did anything like more heroic or more incredible.
She heard friends yell for help. Once on the scene, she realized they had to move the man from the cold water that was covering him. She quickly began first aid while getting help from other hikers.
We need something to put on his head to help with the bleeding. And this guy rips off his shirt and throws it at me. So we put that on his head, and then several of us picked him up and moved him over to a dry area over on the rocks.
Meanwhile, a rescue team hiked down and coordinated a helicopter into the narrow canyon. Rescuers dropping down into a tight space before hoisting the conscious man to safety.
There had to have been angels or somebody helping him.
That day, a miraculous rescue, guided by a nurse and a group of guardian angels. Rahima Ellis, NBC News.
And our thanks to Rahima and KSL, our affiliate in Salt Lake City, for that incredible story. That's Nightly News for tonight, my first as the anchor of this great broadcast. My thanks to all of you as we start this new adventure together. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Thank you for watching. I'm Tom Llamas. Have a great night.